Hello again, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mr. Fox, coming to you from Digifox Labs. Today we're going to be talking about some transfer news in the football world, something of which could help you on your Sorare journey. Now, none of this financial advice. We are not financial advisors. Everything said here is 100% our opinion. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Coming to you at soraredata.com, we can see here that everything is down in terms of the amount of individuals who are playing on Sorare. We see here that it's down on the auction volume, as well as the offer volume. And we scroll further down here and we have our market trends. It looks like the falling player that is pretty much worth 97% less is Rio Nagai. And then we have Ronaldo and Zach Thompson here. And if you are interested in creating something that is a little bit competitive, we highly recommend you download or get access to SorareData.com. It is completely free and very lucrative in terms of helping you guide through the Sorare space. And we see here the most sold players are currently Marcos Lopez, Teal Burnberry, Patino, Aaron Modler, and Jacob Romston. Now, we also see here the most sold players that are rare, as well as the rising players. Now, we're not going to go through all of these. That's not what we're here for. We're here to give you some transfer news to help you get ahead of the curve of essentially those that are playing Sorare data that may not know everything there is to know about Sorare and even the football world, because let's just face it, football is the biggest sport in the world, and it is very difficult to follow every single league with every single players that are retiring, coming up, transferring, and all the like. So hopefully we can guide you and help you a little bit with that. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Coming in at number one, as indicated last time, we said that Filip Kostic was interested in West Ham. He has already turned down two Champions League teams, but we don't know as to why. And it looks like he did indicate that he told West Ham to hold off as he was offered a contract and negotiations at the table from Juventus. Now, that goes against everything that he was doing recently as far as turning down Champions League team, because Juventus is going to be in the Champions League. And so that makes us curious as to maybe he's interested in specific leagues rather than specific teams. Now, he's currently trading at 70 euros, and then his rare is trading at 535 euros. We scroll further down here and we look at his statistics, and we see here that he is very much a lucrative and high-playing individual. He did partake in last night's game with Frankfurt versus Munich, Bayern. And we can see here that they did get a heavy thrashing. But even with said heavy thrashing, let's see how he performed last match. Let's see here. He performed at roughly around a 28. Now, that is unfortunate because he is very talented and he's only 29 years old. So he has roughly about 3 to 4 years left. So wherever he goes, even if it's Juventus, he very well may be a heavy starter. And remember, they actually had some defensive members that have retired on Juventus. So next player, we have here Mikhail Dumsgaard. Now, we see here he has 0 limiteds currently available, and the news is that he is looking to go to Brentford, right? It hasn't been yet established yet, but what makes this valuable is he is 22 years old and is part of the under 23. So you will have a under 23 player available to you for the next 2 to 3 years, of which he will be playing at Brentford, which means he can very well much start. We see here that he does have significant capabilities, but unfortunately he was on a team that did not value his services, or maybe he was too young at the time. But we see here he is currently on the uptrend. If you are RTA capable, you will see that this is a rising wedge. Not saying that that has anything to do with Sorare specifically, because this isn't exactly trading TA, but rather just purely fundamentals, right? And that's the beauty of Sorare. So this is quite interesting news. Next, we have here Inigo Martinez. Now, there's been a lot of speculation going on about Inigo and where he may go, but Barca has currently offered 15 million euros for a full transfer from Atletico Club Bilbao. And we see here he is currently 38 euros on the limited side and roughly around 290 euros on the rare side. Now we scroll further down here and he is quite the performer. We see here that he is consistently roughly around high 30s to low 40s, with maxes going clearly in the greens in Sung Manitou, whether it be mid 45s or higher. He did indicate that he was a 97 at one point, a couple of weeks ago, probably about almost a year ago. So he does have the potential to do so. What makes this even more valuable is we see here he is on the Spain national team, and with the current tournament coming up, as well as the World Cup coming up, he will very well likely start in some capacity. So not only are you getting access to the club format, but you also get access to the national team with a 38-pound entry currently. Sorry, that is euros. Next player we have is Sergio Gomez. Now, Chelsea is looking at their books, and they are trying to offer Sergio Gomez, who is currently playing in the Jupiler League, looking at their books to see if they could afford a transfer. If you don't know, Chelsea is looking to restructure and reorganize everything. Now, he is currently priced out of a lot of people's budgets on both fronts, the limited as well as the rare. But what makes this valuable is that he is yet again an under 23 player who is performing very well. Now, if he does go to Chelsea, who knows if he's going to be able to start. Now, he very well may be a substitute because he is fighting for the left defender allocation, but with Chelsea and Tuchel, he very well may be performing in a midfield structure as a winger. That's yet to be seen. We don't know how he will be played in that capacity. We are not managers, but we see here when he was in the Jupiler League, he did play quite a lot, right? He did have some DNPs, but that is neither here nor there because he will be looking for an exit of the league in some form or fashion. So this could be an opportunity for a purchase of this card, and the value may actually hold for at least a year or two. That's yet to be seen. Or it very well may increase because if he does go to Chelsea and he ends up being a starter, which is highly likely, who knows, it could actually double. So that is a 1x with this individual, Sergio Gomez. Next, we have a player that is not on Sorare platform, but we highly recommend you bookmark it. That is not financial advice if you're looking at it for an investment part, but rather just a play, right? And so we see here that it is not available for purchasing because he is not, he just doesn't have a card yet, right? He is 20 years old, and the player in question is Mattia Vite. Now, he has a transfer from Empoli in Serie A, and he will be going to OG Nice out in Ligue 1. Now, as far as how you could play this, well, you could go ahead and bookmark it and wait for your alarm bells. You could put right here on the next to the favorites, you could put alarm bells to notify you when he will be available for auction. Now, it is possible, and more than likely, he will be going in the 3-digit numbers. Reason is because Nice is looking to reformat their whole club. They got rid of a manager, and they are looking to restructure completely. So he very well may get playing time. Whether or not he's going to have consistent playing time is yet to be determined because the league has just started, right? Next player we have going on that you need to look at is Dries Mertens. Now, it is no secret that he is 35 years old, but what is interesting is he turned down services from Juventus. Now, this is going to be a speculation play because we see here he has no limited cards, so there will be an auction coming up for this individual. He has a lot of rare cards, and they are going for about 441 euros at time of recording. Now, if you want to speculate and get a limited and maybe try and flip it, we have an opinion in that he very well may be going to a lower class league or maybe even a mid-tier team, at which point they will be utilizing his services, maybe even making him a captain. If he is a captain, he will have to play a majority of the matches, and because he is a striker, he very well may be playing like a number 9 position, or maybe just a striker like what Zlatan played when he went to Manchester United, which is just malingering about around the box, just waiting for the perfect pass from individuals. So he will be a performer in some magnitude no matter where he goes. We do believe he will be going to a mid-class team. We don't know where, we don't know what league, but he will be getting playtime, that is for sure. Next individual is Alex Telles. We did mention this individual last video. He did finalize a loan to Sevilla, and it will be up for, let's see, up until the end of the season of 2023. So you have a full year of him playing for Sevilla. Now, he does not currently have any limited cards available, but he has 53 cards available on rare, pricing around 420 euros. We scroll further down and we can see here that as of lately, he is playing quite a lot of matches. And earlier on, probably for the past 2 years and beyond, he was having difficulty even finding some play time on the pitch, even as a substitute. But with his move to Sevilla, there may be a possibility of him actually having a starter position, because even though it says here he is a left defender, he is capable of being in a wing position or even a left midfield position. Next player we have is going to be Charlie Patino. Now, he yet again does not have a card. We see here nothing for limited or rare, but this is yet again another situation where you need to bookmark it and set your alarms because he is on loan from Arsenal until 2023. He is at Blackpool. So if he does perform well, and he may start, and if he does start, he would be actually interested in returning to Arsenal or maybe even another club within the Prem, at which point he would have essentially earmark some playing time. What makes this valuable is he's only 18, so this could actually be rather not only an opportunity to play someone, but even as an investment, right? So if you could snag him up for, let's say, $40 or maybe $100 in the rare or limited, you could just hold on to it for a full year or two when he gets back to services and then sell him. So this would be one of those individuals that you look to hold for at least a year once he's available for auction. Next, we have Ricky Pewett. Now, if you don't know, he was a Barcelona player, not getting much time. He was actually on the reserves and then substitute and going back and forth, back and forth. He is going to MLS to play for the LA Galaxy, in which he signed a 3-year deal. Now, regardless of what your opinion is, we're not here to discuss if that was a good or bad career move, but what we're looking at is he is 22 years old. If you need an MLS card, this very well may be your opportunity because he will get some play time, not to mention that he will be performing quite well because the league is very subpar when comparing it to Barcelona. We see here that he had very much a whole DNP for almost a whole season. But when he does play at the high levels, he does get roughly around 30 on average. Now, going to MLS, you can honestly add another 10 to that because the caliber is just not as significant. So this could be a great investment and even a good hold for the next year or two. Because he will get play time, he will get probably assist, and he may even get 1 or 2 goals within a season. So that is good because guess what? That gives you a full year or even 2 years of him in the under 23 bracket. Going on to the next player we have Josuke Vordeol, and I apologize if I did not pronounce that correctly, but he is a center defender who's playing for RB Leipzig in the Bundesliga. Now, the club does not want to let him go. They rejected an offer of 18 million. I wrote down who from Man City. So Man City offered him 18 million euros, or offered RB Leipzig 80 million euros, at which point they turned it down because they feel he is worth at least triple digits. So we see here his price is quite high on both fronts, the limited as well as the rare, and there are plenty of cards to go around. And so when you factor in his ability to perform consistently, not to mention he had DNPs, this very well may be a double success, if you will, because if you buy it now, it very well may retain its value, and you could utilize them in the under 23s and even in the other tournaments if interested. Now, if you have the means, it may very well behoove you to go ahead and purchase 2 of them, right? Hold one and then get ready to profit and flip the other one, right? That is just our opinion. Again, not financial advice. Next player we have Edison Cavani. Now, even though he is 35 years old and he does play for Manchester United, when he does play, I mean, he does serve as a substitute, not really a starter, but he does not have any cards we see here. Now, so why are we talking about him? Well, we're talking about him because he's someone you need to put on your radar because he will be transferring out of Manchester United. Dortmund indicated that they were interested in his services, but Manchester United wanted 10 to 15 million. I don't remember one. It's one or the other, or maybe in between, right? And Dortmund indicated that is too much, and rightfully so. He is 35 years old. He would be serving as maybe a captain or maybe even a substitute, a regular substitute in the forward position, giving them a different dynamic and attacking aspect. We see here that even though he is world class, he did have some DNPs because it was just unlucky that he went to Manchester United and then Ronaldo comes in, and then he had different managers within the past 2 years, or I think 3 years. Yeah, he had quite a lot of different managers at his time at Manchester United. So this is one you need to go ahead and set your alarms for and just keep an eye on him for auction. Next, we have Renato Sanchez. PSG signed him for 15 million euros. So he will very likely be a substitute because if you look at the roster for PSG and the amount of money involved, he definitely, unless he is the next Messi, he will not be getting substantial playing time, but he will be getting play time in the aspect of depending on what kind of lower class teams they will be playing in Ligue 1. So we see here that he is worth 134 in the limited bracket and worth 854 in the rare bracket. Now we look here, and he did have significant amount of play times last season for the current club that he was, the club that he was with prior to PSG. But we do feel that if you're interested in this individual, you need to be aware that he will be a substitute. He will not be a starter. At least not the first season, right? So next player we have is Jorginho Wijnaldum. Now, for those of you that are familiar, he was at Liverpool and then he went to PSG, and now he's looking to play for Roma. So for those of you that are interested in an individual that is a midfielder and may very well get lots of significant play time, Wijnaldum would be your individual because he's only worth 75 in limited and 511 in rare. So that is a decent bargain for someone that is going to get active playing time in a top tier club. And we scroll further down here, and let's go ahead and look at the scores that he has for SO5, right? And let's go all, and this should include his Liverpool time as well. And we see here that he had lots of play time when he was with Liverpool, and then he had a decent amount of a DNP time when he was at PSG. So we do see he is going to get a lot of playtime in Roma, as they have a very centralized attacking midfielding that is going to benefit his style of play. Next player we have coming up is going to be Casper Schmeichel, who is the goalkeeper, #1 goalkeeper at Leicester City at this time. And yet news just broke out he completed a transfer to OGC Nice out in Ligue 1. So it is very likely he will be a starter at most. At least he very well may be a second goalkeeper, but he very well may start in like specific tournament plays, maybe lower class teams and things such as that nature, or maybe depending on who the #1 keeper is at the squad at Nice, they may be out on international duty, which would give Casper Schmeichel the opportunity to be the #1. So this is something that you need to go ahead and bookmark yet again, because there are no cards available. So this could be either an investment if that is something you want to do, and a quick flip, or it could be one of those individuals that you have and it gets you access to certain tournaments because you are lacking goalkeepers, right? So next one we have Emiri Ilkan, who is an 18-year-old who does play an under 23 in tournaments. And what is interesting about this individual is he may have a possible transfer to Torino. Now, if you don't know, Serie A is very likely to play younger individuals to give them opportunities as opposed to some of the other leagues. And he is coming from the Super League Besiktas, and he does not have any cards out as well. But this would be another individual you want to favorite and put on your alarms for when auctions do happen for this character. Next up, we have Malang Sarr, who is playing for Chelsea, but it looks to be transferring to Monaco with the 12 million euros offer still on the table. We see here he does play left and center defender, and he does not have any limited cards out. So look for that auction. Yet again, set your favorites button right there, as well as your alarm, because he only has 68 cards available in the rare. So that could be a discount or a possible opportunity for you if you have the means to go ahead and purchase that lump sum of money, which is not cheap for most of us, right? Let's go ahead and look at his stats. As we scroll further down here, we see here he has a lot of DNPs, and then that could be the reason why he wants to leave Chelsea and get some starting time, because we do know if he does go to Monaco, at which we did see that defensively they could use the help, he very well may be a starter. Next player we have Salvatore Sirigo. Now, he is a well-known goalkeeper, very much a good one, and he is the #1 at Genoa currently. But it looks like Fenerbahce are interested in his services, which is the Turkish Super League. Now, this would be one of those that we personally will be looking into purchasing because it is a bargain right now. And this would be one of the ones here at Digifox Labs that we hold for at least a year, maybe mid-season, unload him off. Just let us get a couple of tournaments of Sirigu in there, and then we would unload him. This is not going to be a 1 to 2 year hold, primarily because he is the age of 35. So it is a temporary transfer probably, and he may very well retire soon. We see here that he has DNPs already coming about. So we'll see. But this would be one of those that you just speculate on him being the #1 goalkeeper at Fenerbahce, if that is a move that does happen. Next, we have Benjamin Cesco. Now, it's no secret that Benjamin Cesco is a wonder kid. He is only 19, and is very lucrative in the under 23 bracket. He may have a possible move for Manchester United, at which point then that would put him as a substitute, maybe even a reservist at some point in his career. We see here, let's go to SO5 scores. Let's go with all. Let's scroll further down. We see here that he does have significant amount of play time for a 19-year-old. So it needs to be said that even though he is 19 and he may be a substitute at Manchester United, with the new manager at Manchester United, he is more likely to give him an opportunity, and that would be his opportunity to shine, as what Pogba as well as Marcus Rashford did. Now that concludes all of our picks and our transfer news. So with that said, happy days, happy trading, and good luck to you all.